Good morning and happy Monday. Welcome to another edition of Strength and Mobility with me, Andy, the health and fitness specialist in Bedford. I hope everybody had a great weekend, enjoyed the beautiful weather we got, and is ready to start the week off strong. We're going to start with our full body stretch, and then we're going to get into our circuit of 4 different circuits, 3 different exercises each. Do things a little bit differently today. The way I'm going to do it, I'm going to demonstrate each exercise, give a few tweaks that you can do if you're having a hard time in any form or fashion. And then I'm going to put 30 seconds on the clock, and I'm going to let that clock run, and that'll be our set. For today, you're just going to need a set of dumbbells and a mat. If you don't have dumbbells, 2 like-sized, weighted objects that you have around the house that you can move around. And yeah, I always recommend having some water nearby. But other than that, we don't need a whole lot. So let's get right into it. We're going to start with our full body stretch. We're standing nice and tall, tucking our chin down towards our chest, and we're just rolling our neck to one side for about 5 revolutions. And then go in the other direction. All right, then we're going to go one arm across. And we're switching arms. All right, I've got one arm behind, pulling down on our elbow. Get a good stretch of the shoulder and tricep. And switch arms. All right, next we're going to get into a split stance. We're hinging at the hip, going straight down the middle. And over to one side. And over to the other side. All right, next we're down on the mat. And we're into a butterfly, feet together, elbows on knees, and we're just pushing out to get a good stretch of the hip and the groin. All right, and then we're going to get into a lunge position, leaning into that, excuse me, front leg. And then we go back to get the front leg's hamstring. And switch. And we're back to get that front leg's hamstring. All right, now we're going to go flat on our back. And we're going to bring one knee up towards our chest, the other leg out straight. And we're holding for about 10 seconds. And then we'll switch legs. Alrighty. And we're going to finish off with some back extensions. Belly on the floor, lifting up, arms extended, head towards the ceiling to get a good stretch of that lower back. And get into an arch to finish it off. Stretch the upper back and shoulders a little bit more. All right, we're going to get a 30-second jog in place just to get the blood pumping and begin. All right, in 3, 2, and 1. All right, take this time to make sure that you have everything you need, water, the dumbbells and such. We'll get started in about 20 seconds. What was the one point I wanted to make? And it's not coming to me, but anyways, so our first set of exercises, we're going to have dumbbell shoulder press, reverse or standing oblique crunch, and reverse lunges. So again, I'm going to demonstrate each exercise, put 30 seconds on the clock, and then we'll run it that way. All right, so starting with shoulder press. This can be done standing, seated, or kneeling. I'm doing my kneeling so that I don't hit the ceiling here. What you're going to do, you're going to get the dumbbells up by your shoulder, and you're going to just be pressing them straight up and back down. Big thing, we want to try to keep it into the same slot, nice and controlled, smooth, as slow as smooth, and smooth as fast. So we're going straight up and back down into the same slot. If you're having a hard time doing both, you can do alternating 1, 2. So I'm going to put 30 seconds on the clock, and we're starting in 3, 2, and 1. I will give you different intervals. Just try to push the pace, but at the same time, making sure that you're nice and tall. If you're standing, back straight, and we're halfway there. All right, we got another 5 seconds. Then we're going to get into the next exercise. 3, 2, and 1. All right, good job. So that's our first round. Next, we're going to get right into standing oblique crunches. So we're standing nice and tall once again. We're going to put our hands behind our head. We're going to start going opposite elbow to opposite knee, alternating left and right. Boom, boom. You should feel a nice workout of your obliques and some of your core. So starting in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. We got 30 seconds. Again, try to keep your posture up nice and straight as you're moving left to right. And we're halfway there. Just keep pushing. This is one that you can keep the pace. If you need to slow it down, that's totally fine. We got about another 5 seconds. 3, 2, and 1. All right, so that's going to do it for our first round of standing oblique crunches. Next, we've got reverse lunge. We're going to pick the dumbbells back up. The way we're going to start, nice and tall, dumbbells neutral at our side. We're going to be reverse lunging straight back. We're going to work to keep our upper half up nice and tall. Our knee should not touch the ground. We want to keep about an inch off the ground. And we return to the starting position. And we're alternating left and right. Same thing, keep my back up nice and straight. And then back to the starting position. If you find that this is a little too difficult with the dumbbells in your hand, you can absolutely do it without. It's a little bit easier to maintain your balance. It's still a great workout for those quads and hamstrings. So starting in 3, 2, and 1, we got 30 seconds of reverse lunges. Again, we want to make sure we're working to keep our upper half up nice and tall. We don't want to let that knee touch the ground. And if the weight's a little bit too much, feel free to do it without. It is still a great workout. And we're halfway there. All right, 5 more seconds. Keep pushing. 3, 2, and 1. All right, at this time, we're going to take about a 20-second break in between sets or rounds of the circuit. And then we'll get into round 2. We're going to do the same 3 exercises for 30 seconds each. I'll keep track of the timer. I'll do another quick demonstration of each, just to reiterate some of the key points. Alrighty, so for the dumbbell shoulder press, you can do them standing, seated, or kneeling. Biggest thing is we want a nice upright spine. Dumbbells start right up at our shoulders, and we're just pressing them straight up and back down, nice and controlled into the same slot, up and down. If you're having a hard time, you can do one alternating at a time. All right, so we got 30 seconds on the clock, starting at 3, 2, and 1. For round 2, let's really focus on our form, especially as we start to get a little bit tired. You might notice that you're slacking off, you're hunching over a little bit, compensating, try to make sure you're keeping upright and keeping into that same slot. We got about 10 seconds left for this round. All right, 3, 2, and 1. Good job. All right, here we go. So now we got round 2 of standing oblique crunch. Again, we're starting off nice and tall. We got our hands behind our head, and we're bringing our opposite elbow to our opposite knee. We're going left to right in an alternating fashion. And we got 30 seconds starting in 3, 2, and 1. Again, in round 2, we want to make sure we're focusing on our form as we start to get a little bit tired. For this one, it's really about not hunching over too much. We don't want our shoulders rolled forward. We want to try to remain upright as possible on that upper half as we alternate left and right, crunching. And we got another 10 seconds. 3, 2, and 1. All right, good job. So now we're into our second round of reverse lunges. Once again, starting nice and tall, feet about shoulder width apart, dumbbells neutral other side, and we are just lunging straight back. We're going to keep our upper half nice and tall, not allowing our knee to touch the ground or bounce off the ground. Returning to that starting position, and we're alternating left and right with the same posture going each way. If it's a little bit difficult with the weight, you can absolutely do it without the weight. It is still a great workout. All right, but we're starting our 30-second timer in 3, 2, and 1. For round 2, this is a big one that it's easy to lose our posture or our form for this exercise. So again, just keep working to keep that back and that upper half upright, not allowing that knee to bounce off the ground. We got another 10 seconds. All right, 3, 2, and 1. All right, good job. So we have our next 20-second break. Grab some water. If you need to make any adjustments with the weight, feel free to do so. We're going to get into our final round of exercises for this circuit. All right, so round 3, might be feeling a little bit tired, some of these muscles that we're working through these exercises. So it's imperative, if you need to slow things down a little bit, by all means, go ahead and do so. I'd rather see it a little bit slower with the correct form to avoid any injury and get the most out of the workout. So with that said, again, we're going to stay nice and tall with our upper half, especially if you're kneeling or sitting. If you're standing, you want to just remain tall all the way through, but bring the dumbbells up over our shoulders, and we are pressing them straight up and straight down in a nice controlled movement, trying to get into that same slot each time. Again, if you're having a hard time doing both at once, you can do alternating left and right, just to give each side a little bit of a break in between sets. All right, so we're going to start our 30-second timer in 3, 2, and 1. In the final round here, you might have some of that, tiredness setting in. Really work to keep upright, keep the posture, keep the form to get the most out of the workout, which we are halfway through this final round of dumbbell shoulder press. All right, last 5 seconds. We're finishing strong. 3, 2, and 1. Good job. All right, so now we're right into our final round of standing oblique crunches. We start nice and tall, feet shoulder width apart, hands behind our head. We're alternating left and right, opposite elbow to opposite knee. Boom, boom. Trying not to allow too much of a turn or too much of a roll of the shoulders forward. We'll try to keep somewhat upright. All right, so we're starting in 3, 2, 1. We got 30 seconds for our final round of standing oblique crunches. Our final round might be a little bit tired, so we're working to keep the same form, trying to get that elbow as close to the knee as we can without totally rolling our back and our shoulders hunching over. We're halfway there. And we got our final round of reverse lunges. I'm sure our legs are burning a little bit, but we're going to finish strong. We got 3, 2, and 1 to finish off standing oblique crunches and find our way to our last round of reverse lunge. Again, we're starting off nice and tall. Dumbbells are neutral by our side, and we're reverse lunging backwards, keeping that upper half nice and tall, not allowing our knee to bounce, touching the ground, and we're going back up to the starting position, alternating left and right. Make sure we keep that posture. If the weight is a little much, feel free to do it without the weight. You will still get a great workout. Biggest thing is keeping that form, upper half nice and tall, and we're starting our 30 seconds in 3, 2, and 1. Final round of one of the more difficult exercises. Leg day is always tough. Make sure that we're worried about the form. We can slow down the pace if we need to, and we're halfway there. Home stretch, 3, 2, and 1. Great job with circuit 1. That's our final round for those set of 3 exercises. Hope you're feeling good. Got the sweat going, and then we're going to get into circuit 2, which is kind of our mobility-based exercises. We have kickbacks, side-to-side lunges, and leg lifts. We'll take a good 30 seconds, grab your water, grab a towel, get that sweat off you, and then we'll get into that round of circuit 2. All right, so we are down on the mat for our circuit 2 round of 3 exercises. For our kickbacks, we're starting off on all fours. We want our knees under our hips, our hands slightly in front of our shoulders to give ourselves room to bring our knee up towards our chest and kick it straight back behind us, alternating left and right. We want to make sure that we're not dipping down, allowing our shoulder blades to squeeze. We want to try to keep upright, like at the top of a push-up. Bringing our knees up towards our chest, remaining in that upright position with our upper half, and kicking straight back to really ignite the glutes, get the hamstrings involved, alternating left and right. All right, so putting 30 seconds on the clock in 3, 2, and 1. All right, we're at the halfway point with our first round of kickbacks. Keep pushing that alternating left and right. Try not to kick anything behind you like I've done in the past. Almost kicking over some pot plant or some potted plants. Here we go in 3, 2, and 1. And that is our first round of kickbacks. Next, we have our side-to-side lunges. So we're going to start off in a split stance position. And what we're doing here, again, we're trying to keep somewhat upright with our upper half. We definitely don't want to be hunched over here. But what we're going to do is we're just going to dip into one side, into that hip, and then swing over onto the other hip. And we're just finding a nice rhythm, back and forth, getting into those hips to increase our hip mobility. All right, so we're putting 30 seconds on the clock in 3, 2, and 1. Part of this exercise is just finding a nice rhythm, flowing back and forth, feeling like you're getting into a similar spot each time, or maybe even a little bit deeper as you get a little bit closer or more comfortable with the exercise, feeling where the kind of endpoints are in each hip. But we are just past the halfway point, about another 10 seconds. Actually, not even. We got 3, 2, and 1. All right, so our final exercise for circuit 2, our leg lifts, everybody's favorite. So we're down flat on the mat, flat on our back. We got our arms right by our sides, and we're going to lift our legs up to about a 45-degree angle, and we're going to bring them down to about 6 inches off the ground and back up. If you find that you're having a hard time with this, you can feel free to leave your legs at either start or end position, so about 6 inches off the ground, holding them there, or at about the 45 and leaving them there for the 30-second duration, which is going to start in 3, 2, and 1. We got our ab workout with the leg lifts. Again, we just want to make sure that we're keeping it about 6 inches off the ground at the bottom, about a 45-degree angle at the top. Find that nice flow state where we're just up and down at a similar pace. Try to engage that core. And we got 3, 2, 1. Those kind of seem like they take forever sometimes, but we got 20 seconds for a break. Grab your water, and we're going to get into round 2, circuit 2. All right, here we go. Again, we're down on all fours. We want knees under hips, hands just in front of shoulders to have that room to drive the knee up towards our chest and kick the leg back straight out. Alternating left and right. Here we go. Starting in 3, 2, and 1. We have our second round of 30 seconds on the clock. We're working left and right, alternating kickbacks. Drive the knee up towards your chest, kick the leg straight back behind you, alternating left and right, keeping that upper half, that back, as straight as you can. And we're at the halfway point. We've got 3, 2, and 1. All right, good job. That is round 2 of kickbacks. We're going into round 2 now of these lateral side to side, call them lunges, sways, what have you. We're working on hip mobility, where we're just again starting from this split stance. We're leaning into one side, getting into that hip, and then we're swaying over to the other, finding that good rhythm, that good flow, finding the endpoints, testing our hip mobility. We got 30 seconds on the clock, starting in 3, 2, and 1. Again, find that flow state, test those end ranges for the hip mobility, push it a little further when you feel comfortable. We're at that halfway point. All right, we got 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good job. So now we're down on the mat again, flat on our backs for second round of leg lifts. Again, we start flat, hands by our side, Feet come up to about 6 inches off the ground, bringing them up to a 45-degree angle and back down to that 6-inch mark. Up and down, finding that good flow. If you need to stay at one point, if you get tired, either at the 6-inch point or the 45-degree angle, that's totally fine. Just keep your core engaged throughout. All right, 30 seconds on the clock, starting in 3, 2, and 1. All right, again, find that good flow where we're just going up and down, trying to start at the same start point, end at the same end point, core engaged throughout. If you need to stop and stay at one of these points, that's totally fine. Just keep that core engaged. We got another 10 seconds. All right, 3, 2, and 1. All right, we got another 30-second break. Then we'll get into our final round of these 3 exercises. Move on to the next circuit 3. But we're going to finish circuit 2 off strong. Alrighty, so again, for our final set of kickbacks, with these final rounds, we want to make sure that our posture or our form stays continuous, stays proper. To get the most out of the exercise, so I got my hands in front of my shoulders, my knees under my hips, and I'm driving that knee up towards my chest and driving that leg straight behind me, alternating left and right, keeping that upper half as straight as I can throughout the process. And we got 30 seconds on the clock, starting in 3, 2, and 1. Alrighty, we're almost halfway there. Make sure you're keeping that good posture, that good form, driving that knee up towards the chest, kicking that leg straight back out. You should feel that glute firing at the back of the rep. Alright, we got 3, 2, and 1, and that will finish off kickbacks for us. Now let's finish off these side-to-side lateral lunges, lateral sways. Still don't know what to call them, but we are starting off in this split stance position, and we're going side to side, getting into the hip, finding that end range, into the other side, getting our hip mobility up, side to side, finding that nice flow state. And we're starting 30 seconds in 3, 2, and 1. All right, we're finding those end ranges. We're getting into that flow state, feeling that good hip mobility, left and right, and we're just past the halfway point. All right, 3, 2, and 1. That's going to do it for side to sides. Now let's finish off these leg lifts. Again, we're flat on our back, starting off 6 feet or 6 inches off the ground, getting up to about a 45-degree angle and back down to 6 inches, up and down, nice and controlled, core engaged throughout. If you have to stop at either end point, that's totally fine. Just keep your core engaged. And we got 30 seconds on the clock in 3, 2, and 1. Alrighty, we are at the halfway point for our leg lifts. Make sure that you're keeping your core engaged. We're up to the 45, down to the 6 inches. Slow it down if you have to, or stay at the end points. Just keep that core engaged for the last 5 seconds in 3, 2, and 1. Good job. That's going to finish off circuit 2 for us. We're going to get into circuit 3 in about 30 seconds, where we have skull crushers, shoulder shrugs, and front raises. Hope everyone is feeling good this morning, getting a good sweat, and ready to take on the day, take on the week. But let's get into a demonstration of our skull crushers. I'm going to lessen the weight on these just because it is going over our head. If you need to do the same, actually, for this whole round of exercises, That's totally okay. We're ending with front raises, which is an exercise where the weight is coming away from the midline. I'll explain that later. But for these skull crushers, we're going to start flat on our back, knees bent. I'm holding 2 dumbbells. I'm holding them together, squeezing them together. My arms are out straight, and I'm hinging at the elbow, bringing them down towards the top of my head, and then I'm extending my elbows back out, firing my triceps at the top of the rep. Down and back up. If the weight is a little much, what you can do is take just 1 dumbbell, invert it over your head, hold the bell at the top, and same motion, hinging at the elbow, extending straight up. All right, so we got 30 seconds on the clock, starting in 3, 2, and 1. Remember, we're hinging at the elbow, bringing it to about the top of our head, and extending our elbows back up straight. You should feel a good stretch or a good workout of those triceps. All right, we have 3, 2, and 1 to finish out round 1 of those skull crushers. Next, we have shoulder shrugs. So we're back up standing nice and tall here. We're going to have the dumbbells neutral at our side. Nice sturdy base, feet about shoulder width apart, give or take. Again, we're starting dumbbells neutral at our side. What we're doing is we're bringing our shoulders up towards our earlobe and back down. Up towards our earlobe and back down. We want to keep our back up nice and straight throughout this process. And it's a pretty easy maneuver here. It's really just squeezing our shoulders and our traps up towards our ear. So we got 30 seconds on the clock for shoulder shrugs in 3, 2, and 1. Not much to this movement. A lot of it is just kind of making sure that we're isolating those traps and our muscles around our shoulders and neck by staying up nice and tall and just squeezing up towards our ears. All right, 3, 2, and 1. So that's going to do it for round 1 of shoulder shrugs. Next, we have front raises. So again, this is one of those exercises where we're bringing the weight away from our midline. Makes it a little bit more difficult, a little more strenuous on the muscles and the joints that we're using. In this case being the shoulders, for which I have a pretty bad left shoulder that's already been surgically repaired. So I'm going to lessen the weight. I'm going to keep my base nice and steady, feet shoulder width apart, starting with the dumbbells palm down right in front of me here. And I'm just going to be bringing them up to about chest high and back down. You know the weight's good if you're able to do it in a nice controlled and smooth motion. Out and back down to the starting position. All right, so we got 30 seconds on the clock for front raises, starting in 3, 2, and 1. Alrighty, we are at the halfway point for our front raises. Again, make sure that you're keeping up nice and tall, nice and straight. Arms are going out and back down in a nice controlled movement. We got 3, 2, and 1. All right, so that is going to do it for our first round of circuit 3. We're going to get a quick 20-second break and then get into round 2. All right, so for round 2, we got skull crushers. Again, we're down on our back, flat, knees bent. If you're using 2 dumbbells, try to put them together. And we're just hinging at the elbow, down towards the top of our head, and then extending those elbows back out straight to ignite those triceps. If you need to use 1 dumbbell because the weight's a little much, just invert it over your head, hold the bell of the dumbbell, and same motion applies. All right, so we got 30 seconds on the clock, starting in 3, 2, and 1. All right, so round 2, make sure we're keeping that form. Want to keep that nice hinge of the elbow. We don't want it to roll the shoulders back too much, keeping it mostly in the elbow for these last 10 seconds. 3, 2, and 1. All right, so next we have our shoulder shrugs. We're back up tall. We got the dumbbells neutral at our side, nice 30 base, feet about shoulder width apart, and we are just squeezing our shoulders and our traps up towards our earlobes and back down. We got 30 seconds on the clock, starting in 3, 2, and 1. Pretty easy movement here. Again, we're just trying to isolate those shoulder and trap muscles straight up and straight down. All right, 3, 2, and 1. Then we got our second round of front raises. Again, a little bit lighter if need be. We're just shoulder width apart with our feet, nice sturdy base. Dumbbells are palms down in front of us. And we're just making sure we can get a nice controlled movement out and back down, out and back down. We don't want to have to sway our hips or hunch our shoulders to get the momentum. We want to be able to do it nice and controlled. All right, so we got 30 seconds on the clock, starting in 3, 2, and 1. If you start to get tired and 2 is too difficult, you can do alternating left and right. We're halfway there. All right, we're on the home stretch here. Here we go. Last 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Quick 20-second break, and we're going to get into our final round of these 3 exercises. Alrighty, so again, we're down on the mat. Back's flat, knees bent, and we are straight up with the dumbbells. And then we are just hinging at the elbow, down towards the crown of our head, and extending the elbows back up. If you have to do it with one, invert the dumbbell, holding the bell, and same motion applies. 30 seconds on the clock, starting in 3, 2, and 1. All right, our final round, we want to make sure we're keeping the right form. We're just hinging at the elbow. We're not allowing our shoulders to let our arms go back behind our head. We have our last 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And that is going to be it for our skull crushers. So now let's finish off these shoulder shrugs. Again, we're feet shoulder width apart, dumbbells neutral at our side, and we're working to squeeze those traps and shoulders up towards our ears, up and down. We got 30 seconds on the clock in 3, 2, and 1. Alrighty. Last couple reps. We got 3, 2, and 1. All right, now let's finish off these front raises. Again, this last round might be a little bit tired, so let's work to keep the right form. Feet shoulder width apart, dumbbells, palms down in front of us, and we are working to get up towards our chest and back down in a nice smooth and controlled movement, up and down. We don't want to be kipping our hips. We want to be just keeping up nice and tall and let our shoulders and our back muscles do the work. 30 seconds on the clock in 3, 2, and 1. Again, don't let that tiredness ruin your form. Up nice and tall, smooth up, and smooth and controlled back down. We are at the halfway point, a little beyond actually. Last 5 seconds. We got 3, 2, and 1. All right, so this is our new format for strength and mobility. Working on the time, we got about 5 minutes left. I want to make sure we get a good cool down. So what we're going to do, we're going to run through circuit 4 one time, just to make sure that we have enough time. I'll make the adjustments for Friday to make sure that the timing is a little bit better, but I know people have to get to work, get into the office, so we're going to make sure that we get through this round of 3 exercises where we have tricep extensions, single leg deadlift to knee drive, and then dumbbell curls. We'll run through it once, and then we'll get into our cool down so that people can get to work on time this morning. Alrighty, so while you're getting your break, get some water. I'm going to demonstrate tricep extensions. The way that these should look, again, either one that can be done standing, seated, or kneeling. I'm doing mine kneeling. What I'm going to do, I'm going to take one dumbbell, I'm going to invert it above my head, holding the bell of the dumbbell. With 2 hands, I am starting straight up, extended as high as I can, and I am dipping that down to my back and back up in a nice controlled movement to get a good workout for the triceps. Just feel them really ignite at the top of the rep. All right, so 30 seconds are on the clock in 3, 2, and 1. All right, so we are at the halfway point. Check your form. Make sure that you are just straight up and straight down, hinging at the elbow in a nice controlled movement. We got 3, 2, and 1. All right, so single leg deadlift to knee drive. If you've been watching strength and mobility for a while, you know this is what I've been working on. It's a good balance exercise and then working on explosiveness. So I have my right leg out in front of me here. My left hand is going to reach down towards my ankle as my left leg goes back, and then I'm going to drive that left knee and right arm up. And then I'm going to switch to my left side, or my left leg forward. My right arm is reaching down, and then I'm driving my right knee and left arm forward. So we're going to go 15 seconds with one leg, 15 seconds with the other leg. I will call out the 15-second mark. So we're starting that time in 3, 2, and 1. We're working on one side right now. Try to get as many reps as you can in the next 15 seconds. A little bit difficult. It's a balance exercise, but that's all right. Should be able to get 2, 3 good reps in 3, 2, and 1. Switch legs. Then we're working on the other side. Same thing, reaching with your opposite hand and then driving that opposite knee and hand forward. Get as many reps as you can get, and we are clean in 3, 2, and 1. Alrighty, so our last exercise is going to be dumbbell curls. You can do these standing, seated, or kneeling. Once again, I'm doing mine standing. I'm starting off with just a nice steady base, feet about shoulder width apart. Dumbbells are neutral by my side, and I'm just curling from this position using 2 hands at the same time, or you can do alternating left and right. You can do hammer curls, you can do reverse curls, whatever really tickles your fancy on this one. But we're gonna have 30 seconds of curls, and we're starting in 3, 2, and 1. All right, we are at the halfway mark. Make sure that you're keeping up nice and tall, allowing just the arms and the shoulders and some of those back muscles to do the work. We're not kipping at the hips to get the weight up. For these last 5 seconds, 3, 2, and 1. All right, so again, we are almost at 7:45 right now. I know people have to get into the office, so if you have the time and want to finish that workout, just run through those 3 exercises that we just did 2 more times, and you will have completed the full circuit. In the sake of time, I'm going to do our cool down at this moment and then get into the closing comments, and we will be done with strength and mobility for your Monday morning. I hope everybody got something out of that. I think it's a great circuit. And yeah, so we're going to start today with our cool down in this split stance position. And we're just going to hinge at the hip and go straight down the middle. You can reach a little bit further behind you, kind of get your hamstrings a little bit more involved. All right, from here we're going to get into the lunge position. I'm back to get that front leg's hamstring. My knee always pops when I do these for some reason. I don't know. When I roll my knee over the mat, it just pops. Doesn't hurt, but all right, switch legs. See if this one does it. Nope. All right, but we are back to get that front leg hamstring. All right, then we got one leg in, one leg out, reaching for that front leg. And switch. All right, let's get up on our knees and just do quick tricep stretch, pulling our elbow down towards our back. And switch sides. All right, finish it off with some back extensions. And into an arch. And that is going to do it for strength mobility on your Monday morning. Once again, I hope you got something out of that workout. And yeah, I hope you're having a great Monday. Had a good weekend, feeling refreshed, ready to go, tackle the week. I think we're supposed to get some nice weather, so try to get outside if you can, get a good workout in. But once again, I'm Andy, the health and fitness specialist over in Bedford. If you ever have any questions regarding health and fitness, feel free to reach out to myself or Jess in Bedford, or Sarah and myself and Jenna in Bedford, or Jess and Sarah over in McLean. It's Monday morning, folks. But anyways, I hope you have a great rest of your week. I'll see you Friday morning for strength mobility.